Good evening and welcome to tonight's Crew Call. My name is Jimmy Hayes Nelson. I am CEO and founder of The Crew, coming to you live from Dallas, Texas, and I'm so excited that you have invested the time tonight to join us on our weekly Crew Call. It speaks volumes about you, how serious you are about your goals, how serious you are about this business, how serious you are about serving other people, about really impacting lives, and in the process, really transforming your own life by stopping to focus on ourselves and really focus on others, what others needs, how can we serve others, how can we get in front of more people, how can we make more connection, and ultimately deliver hope. That's our tagline, that's our hashtag, that's what we do. We deliver hope. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about why we do what we do. I'm so excited about our special guest tonight. He's a very busy man who leads an extraordinarily large team. But we have Dave Ward on the call after we get done with our little housekeeping today. The opportunity to listen and speak with Dave is just a huge opportunity. And I'll get a little more to his intro and the impact he's had on my life and my business and why he is just one of my best friends and somebody that I'm just so excited that you guys get a chance to peek in and hear from him tonight. So first off, thank you so much for being here. If you're a brand new Crew Coach, welcome. We're so excited. The team is growing by leaps and bounds. And obviously your sponsor coach cares about your goals, cares about you having success because they pointed you here. And this is where all our successful coaches are every Monday night. I talk about it all the time. Engaged coaches are successful coaches. And if you are plugged into the Crew Wall, to these calls, to the tools and things that we provide for you, and you utilize those, you're going to see super fast success by plugging in, by learning something new, by applying it and doing it and coming back so we can tweak it. And every week I feel like this is the tweak section. We learn something, we go do it immediately, we come back, we tweak it. Learn, do, tweak over and over again. And in the process, we're changing thousands of lives where you're changing your life, and we're off and running and reaching our goals. So thank you. I'm so proud to partner with you. We're going to get to recognition here. I really want to get to our special guest tonight, and I have a special announcement before we get to Dave this evening as well. So we always do that. We start with recognition, and why do we recognize people? Because you guys, y'all are the street team. You're out there. You're doing it. You're investing in other people. You are delivering hope to a world that desperately needs it. That, we talk about health and fitness, but at the end of the day, we are giving hope to people, whether that's people that think they're too far gone to lose any weight, to have that energy, to spend quality time with their family, to get out of debt. I mean, you name the problem that somebody is hopeless about, you have a solution. And how powerful is that? And that is so amazing. And so this recognition we do is to those of you that are out there taking those action steps every day, and it's showing up. The first thing we do is we recognize our team volume leaders. These numbers that you're going to see reflect the personal team volume of each of these individuals. We have the Crew 200, 300, 400, 500 club, and the 1,000 plus club. If you're kind of unsure on exactly where these numbers are coming from, that's okay. Ask on the Crew Wall, tag your personally sponsor or your sponsor coach, and we can help you understand that as you get to know your business a little more. The way I like to look at that, these names represent the people that are serving the most people. They're not the shrewdest salesmen. They're not the ones that know the secrets and the tricks. They're the ones that are doing their 3 vital behaviors every day. That power of 5 we talk about, that power of 5, which is doing your workout, drinking your Shakeology, doing your at least 15 minutes of personal development a day, sharing 2 to 3 success stories either in person, on social media, whatever your avenue is. And then number 5, inviting those that are interested and taking that step to join you. Man, that's the power of 5 every single day, and we talk about that. We've talked about that since Summit, since we've kind of learned that power of 5 from John Maxwell, and I think it's worked so well. It goes hand in hand with the 3 vital behaviors, and those of you that have started to adopt that power of 5, it's showing up. And you guys are ending up on this list, so let's get to it. We have the Crew 200 Club named. This list keeps getting longer and longer every week, and I love this. We have Constance and Michael and Ross and Carmen and Kim and Cass, Shannon, Lisa, Valerie, Cheska, Jacania, Robert, Brian, Suhana, Paul, Crystal, Shannon, Chris, and Deborah. Crew 200. Congratulations, guys. It's so exciting to see new names on here. And I always preface this, if I butcher your name, it's a good thing. My spiritual gift is messing up names, but that also means I probably haven't met you. You're new on these walls, and that's exciting. I love seeing new names on here. So congratulations to the Crew 200. The Crew 300, we have Angela, Cherie, and Jack. Twerk Twerk Fitness. Congratulations, you those ladies. I'm looking this way because I have my screen with all my slides over here. So exciting, Crew 300 Club, that you guys are out there serving people, helping people take that next step. Everybody has a time or a money excuse usually, and these people that you see on this list are those that can help those people get beyond that, get beyond those excuses, get beyond those fears of maybe getting started. So congratulations. The Crew 400 Club, we have Mandy and Brian and Mary and Malia and Tulin and Adrian and Jillian. Congratulations, a lot of names that you see every week. And if you started joining us every week and you see the same names on the 3, 4, 500 Club every week, and I'm new, what I would do is I would be on that crew wall tagging some of these names, asking for tips. If you have something that you keep coming in contact with that keeps stopping you or you're getting frustrated with, tag some of these people that you see having success right now. That's why we have the Crew Facebook page, is so you can learn from the team. It's so much faster to just follow the tracks of success than to try to reinvent the well on your own. So maybe put that ego aside a little bit, that I'm going to do it on my own or figure it out on my own, and just ask. We're so happy to help show you exactly what we're doing, and it's going to speed up your success rate as well. The Crew 500 to 999 Club, we have John in combined CBCs, Michelle in combined CBCs. My second CBC was there. Beverly, Kobe in combined CBCs, Christy Weiler, and Victoria, all all there as well in the Crew 500 to 999 Club. And the last couple of weeks, guys, we have a very lonely 1,000 plus club. We actually have Kristen Washko and Jamil Mahdi there this week. So we have a happy sheep. We had a sad, I think, what do we have? Like a sad kitten and a sad puppy dog. Now we have a happy sheep. Why a sheep? I don't know. I will ask my wife, who puts together these beautiful slides. So tell Kelly thank you for her work every week on these slides. The exciting thing is, and I've been advertising this the past couple weeks, anybody who makes 500 plus, we announced it on Monday. If your name was announced in the 500 or 1,000, I'm going to be doing a weekly Google Hangout with you guys. This week, you'll be getting an invite. We have actually scheduled it. It's going to be 3:30 Central Time on Thursday. I know that doesn't work for everybody, but we just had to pick a time and go and see something that works. We will get these recorded and get them to you if you qualified. But it's just a way that I want to spend some more time with those of you that are out there serving people and making this thing happen. And that way we can continue to maybe throw some fuel on the fire that's already started. So congratulations, you guys. You will be receiving an invite from Kelly on how to join us on a Google Plus Hangout on Thursday. Success Club. Jamil is off and running again. He is setting the bar. He is at Success Club 12 with one new coach. Guys, we are almost at the halfway mark of this month. And last month, we set a record for crew coaches in Success Club because everybody took off on that T25 challenge pack, right? Which you're going to see in the next slide here in just a second. We have even more specials this month. So there's no reason, once we've done something once, Jim Rohn talks about this, once you've done something once, you know you can do it again. So if you were on that list last month and there were people hitting Success Club 30s and plus and just doing amazing things, then what we always have to do is remind ourselves, what were the little things we were doing every day last month, and how do we repeat that this month, right? So Success Club 5, we have Solange, myself, and Kelly that are all above the line so far. But I know that we should have so many more than that halfway through the month. So this is everybody that's on the board. The good news is, even if you have no points right now, there is still time to get this done. If you will take what you learned tonight, especially with Dave on the call tonight, that if you activate these things, if you're one of those people that have scheduled time to work your business in the evenings, I would activate whatever you learned tonight while it's fresh. Because I find that people that ponder and think on things, or I'm going to process this, man, they never get started. If you just throw it out there and go, I'm going to go try to screw this up and get started, man, it happens. It happens, and you're activated. Um, so let's see what we got going on here. Rank advancements. We do have a lot of emeralds. We keep doing push to emerald. We keep challenging, like, let's get a record number of emeralds this month. But we have Melinda Holman, Laura Kashara, Kelly Clay, Lacey Orser, Colin Crew, and Nikki Urbani. And man, I'm just personally proud because a lot of those people are my personally sponsored coaches. So rock and roll, guys. You guys keep it up. Emerald now, diamonds right around the corner. Just keep doing what you've been doing. As I said before, we have some amazing promotions this month, and Beachbody has made it so simple for us to have success this month. You have a $160 challenge pack of Body Beast and Turbo Fire. And we learned from Clarissa Lupton a couple weeks ago on the crew call that she treats these challenge packs and these specials like coupons. And that's literally what I've done with the people that show interest is I say, fantastic, I'm glad that you're interested. Normally our challenge group or our test group or however you're advertising this thing, the supplies needed for this is over $300. But we're offering a coupon to those that are stepping up this month to get started. 42% off coupon for $160. Are you willing to take advantage of that coupon? I know that's something I've done the past 2 months and have had huge success with. And then all of you that just killed it with the T25 Challenge Pack last month, guess what? Boom. Beachbody saw that. They brought it back. And then not only that is you hit Success Club 5, you get in Success Club this month, and you're going to get a copy of John C. Maxwell's 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. John Maxwell is who we got to listen to at Summit. That's where a lot of us learned about that Power of Five. And it's a great book. I just finished it recently last month. So there are your promotions. Reminder, we're in the middle, the push to get to this New Orleans trip. It's something I'll have Dave talk about just a little bit also about the importance and the value of this New Orleans trip because he was one of our special guests last year on this trip. To get eligible to come to New Orleans with us, you have to be a Diamond Coach by September 5th. Hold that qualification for 4 weeks through September 26th. Be able to travel to New Orleans November 8th to the 10th. It's only a $100 ticket price, but with the $100 you get 2 nights in an amazing hotel that used to be an old bank right there in the middle of New Orleans. 1 Cajun home-cooked meal by Kelly's family that you do not want to miss. I think last year it was shrimp and crabs, and we're adding to the menu this year. We have 1 special surprise meal that you don't want to miss. Plus, our special guests this year are not 1 but 2 top 10 elite coaches, Melissa McAllister and Lauren Knight, top 10 elite, creme de la creme. And you don't want to miss being able to hang around, talk to these ladies, learn from them. And as you can ask our coaches that went on this trip last year, what it meant for them to be around Dave and Monica Ward and Mike and Kelly Ryan for a weekend and how it's impacted their business. Go ask John Hayes. Go ask Christy Weiler. Go ask Michelle Kellogg and Kobe Linder, Michael Harris, the people that were on this trip, how it impacted their business and what they've done this year since being on that trip. This is something I'm really going to encourage and push you to get to. Remember, Success Club starters, if you're a new coach as of July, if you hit Success Club your first 3 months, you get a free ticket to Summit. Man, it is awesome. You make Success Club that first month, you get on a call with our CEO, Carl Deichler. Second month, you get some recognition in the back office and a newsletter that's amazing. But the free ticket to Summit is huge. So if you're a new coach and you're thinking, I'm going to hesitate and ease into this, I'm going to encourage you not to. I'm going to encourage you to jump on that crew wall and say, man, I want the free Coach Summit ticket. How do I get there? And you watch the entire crew wall help you devise a plan on how many people you need to talk to and how we're going to get you there, right? Success Club, man, that's where it's all happening at. And if you're still iffy about what Success Club is, hopefully you've watched your New to Crew webinar. We go over it, but continue to ask those questions. You can never ask too many questions, and that's what the crew wall is for as well. I have a big announcement. And then we're getting our special guest. Grab your calendars now. Set them for this Friday. We have a secondary crew call this Friday. Jimmy, why? Don't we do it on Monday nights? You know what? When you get a special guest like this, you work your calendar around what they can do for you. This Friday, on a call, I have one of the shrewdest, most smart, sharpest business women I have ever met. Shalene Johnson herself will be on a call this Friday, 2 to 3 Central. It's a call-in, so we won't be on the go-to webinar. It'll be a call-in. So if you're at work, if you're wherever, you can just pick up that phone and dial in and listen. Guys, this is huge. She is an extremely busy woman. She is doing me a solid favor, and this is, I can't rave enough what a big deal this call is. So I'm going to challenge you to move some things around in your calendar and be there. Shalene doesn't do this very often. One other thing is I'm going to be posting, Shalene has asked me to ask you a survey question. I don't know, I'm probably going to totally age myself here, but when I was a kid, we had choose your own adventure books, and you get to the end of something that's like, go to the cave, go to page 8, or jump in the airplane, go to page 12. Well, Shalene wants to tailor make this call just for you. I said, what do you want to talk about? She's like, I want to know what your people need from me. So after the crew call tonight, I'm going to be posting a survey on the crew wall asking a couple questions. The more of you that answer the question, the more specific and laser focused this call on Friday will be to help you get over whatever you're stuck on right now. I've been working with Shalene this year in a mentorship group. I don't think there's any coincidence that our business has blown up, that I will be an 11-star or 10, well, maybe 11-star qualifying coach as of Thursday. And it's not about me. That's a reflection of what she's helped me do working with you guys, right? And just look at the people that have been associated with Shalene, her sister, 2-time 15-star diamond coach. Christine Dwyer, 2-time 15-star diamond coach. Melissa McAllister. I mean, just the people that are around Shalene, look how successful they have been as coaches. And it's not about knowing secrets of this business. It's about how you treat and work with people. And you just do not want to miss this call on Friday. So I am going to, we're going one more. So I'm going to give a little intro here. I'm so excited about having Dave Ward on the call tonight. So I'm going to let you guys know I'm going to probably be turning off my webcam because Dave is going to be joining us audio tonight. So I don't want you just staring at my face. I really want you plugged in and listening to what Dave has to say tonight. I've known Dave Ward now for a bunch of years. I really got to know him and his wife when I was privileged enough to go with Tommy Migrant on the top 10 trip 3 years ago to France. And it was a time for us to hang out and really got to know each other. And it was so amazing to talk to Dave and Monica because they've been in this thing since year one. Monica, his wife, is a founding coach. They lead a enormous organization, Fit Club Network. If you haven't checked out his blog or stopped by his Facebook page, please do. He has some amazing tips, and I always learn so much from him. So as you can see there's some amazing pictures of the fam and super outdoorsman. So I'm going to find him here. I'm going to unmute his line so we can get rolling. And then we're going to have a quick Q&A at the end. So during this, as you're listening to Dave and I chit chat, and mostly Dave, I'm going to get out of his way tonight. If you have some questions, please post them in the Q&A box here on the right. And maybe I'll be able to pick 2 or 3 if we have some time right at the end. So Dave, give me just a second, my friend. I'm looking for you on here. Unmute Dave Ward. Dave, can you hear me, sir? Oh, I have Dave Ward unmuted. Let's see if I make you a panelist. Let's see if that works. You let me know when you're talking to me. Oh, let me unmute him one more time. 3rd time's a charm. Dave Ward, are you there? Oh, why don't I hear him? I got your mic off. Oh, come on, Dave. Oh, your little mic just disappeared. Let's try again. Send audio pin. Thanks for hanging with us, guys. Technology rocks. I'm just checking with Dave, making sure he's still on the line. Let's try again. Unmute Dave Ward. Are you there, buddy? Every time I see this, so I got a little panel here. I see the green telephone, and then the line goes off. So he may be calling back in. So I'm going to tell you some more about Dave Ward while we're waiting on Dave Ward. Dave Ward, tonight he's going to talk about how do you see yourself. And Dave has played a huge role in helping me see myself as the leader I am. And the leader you are, he can do the exact same thing. And it was literally we went to Tommy Migrant's wedding, and I got to spend some time with him and Mike Ryan. And we were up one night, and I don't know, I was just kind of questioning some of the things I do. And he goes, but you're Jimmy Nelson. Like, it was the greatest pep talk ever. And I was like, wow, I wish I saw myself the way Dave Ward sees me. And it was really cool. Dave, you there?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we have liftoff.
It wouldn't let me put the audio in.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to turn my webcam off because they don't need to stare at my grill during this. So first and foremost, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you have a beautiful family and a gigantic team to take care of, so thank you for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure to speak on the call and get to talk to you guys. I've really had a good time. Jimmy talked a little bit about our relationship and getting to know each other in France and really at all the events. And I always sort of view these events like Summit and Leadership, which unfortunately I'm not going to be able to go to this year because my brother's getting married, as family reunions. And Jimmy's one of those people I always look for, and I think we both anticipate those things. We've had a lot of fun together. Had a really good time. Let's talk about NOLA really quickly. The New Orleans trip last year was really fun to get to know your people. What I've seen over the years is that teams follow a certain culture, and that culture is always established by the leader. And Jimmy's done a really great job of establishing that culture and building that foundation that is so important for a strong team. And it was so good to get to know some of your key people last year. I had so much fun. I wish I could have gone this year, but schedules would not allow me to do that. But if you can make it on that trip, I really do suggest that you go. Melissa, I don't know Lauren that well. Melissa spoke with Monica, my wife, at Summit this year, and I think there's a lot of really, really incredible wisdom that both of those ladies can impart on you. If you have a chance, this is worth going. And if you qualify, it's a must go. If you're qualified and you don't go, you're really missing out on, I think, a huge opportunity. So I guess tonight, we sort of titled this thing, How Do You See Yourself? And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Before I get there, there's a couple of other things I want to talk about. We're going to talk about belief systems tonight. I believe that that's really the core of where all of this stuff is at and where your success and or failure lie. But what I want to talk about first is really the opportunity that's in front of you. And I want to make sure that everybody understands this. If you kind of pitch this thing and in the group and the event as, an opportunity to talk to somebody who's made $1 million. And that's a true story. In less than 5 years, really, we've made over $1 million and actually more than that, because that was October of 2000, I don't know, I forget, 11, I think. And so we've had a lot of success with this business in a very short period of time. And so what I want to impress upon you as we get started tonight is the opportunity that's in front of you. If you saw the event listing for this, I posted a YouTube, or it's actually a TED Talk that's on YouTube with Simon Sinek is the guy's name. And he talks a lot about the why. I think that's just an absolutely great video. Mike Ryan is the one who turned me on to that. And it's a really phenomenal video about understanding that people don't buy what you do. They buy who you are, how you do it, and what you believe in. And that's really what we do at our core, is we transfer our belief systems to other people. So if you're passionate about P90X, that's going to come through in the way that you operate your business. And I'll tell you our story in just a moment. But let me talk to you a little bit about the opportunity, okay? And so the other reason I posted that video is I wanted you guys to get familiar with what's called the law of diffusion innovation. This is big, complicated economic type stuff here. But basically the law of diffusion innovation is really, really simple. And it just talks about how messages spread to people, right? We've kind of gone past this day where it's all about TV commercials, and this sort of annoying push advertising, spam, garbage message. That's not how people think anymore. People are social now. I would much rather hear from my friend what he thinks about a restaurant than see a review on TV. Well, I know that the person who reviewed it probably got a free meal. Right? That doesn't have a lot of credibility with me, but what does is what my friend thinks about it, because he's going to be what? Honest. Okay? So that's really what this idea is about. So if you haven't seen that video, you can go and you can Google that, or you can go watch the video. But there's a bell curve. Okay? There's a bell curve. And what this really says is that on the front of the bell curve, you have the innovators. Okay? And the innovators are about 2.5% of the people who are the ultimate adopters of a product. So if you think about, like in that video, it talks about Apple. Think about the number of people that use Apple products. At some point, there was a very small group of people who said, you know what, Apple's kind of cool. They make these funky, like, Apple computers, and they have, like, different keyboard buttons. And I don't know, this is kind of cool. Why? Because it's easy. I don't know. I like it. It works. I don't have to, like, reboot my computer every 5 minutes and all that nonsense. So then the next group of people are the early adopters, right? So you have the innovators and then the early adopters. That's like 13.5% of the population. And these are the people who are like, yeah, you guys are right. These actually are cool products. They start to become a little bit more mass-produced, and the idea grows and the message spreads. And then you have 34%, the next slice is 34%, and they're the early majority people. These are, again, people where they're jumping on the bandwagon, right? Because now they can see there's something cool there, and they want to be a part of that. Then you have the late majority of people, which is another 34%, and then finally you have the laggers, the 16% of the population who's not on Facebook anymore, right? They just think it's stupid, and every now and then, I don't know about you, but every now and then I meet people like this, and they go, oh, Facebook is totally stupid. I'm not on that. And I go, okay, well, that's probably why you haven't made $1 million, right? Because you're part of the 16% of the laggers. So here's what I want to impress upon you, okay? Just a couple of numbers. I just went digging around in the census numbers today, and I thought this was really interesting. It's the 2012 census numbers. There are 313 million people in the United States of America as of the 2012 census, and there's like a birth every 8 seconds or something crazy like that. So let's look at what is 2.5. What's the potential to be an innovator? Not an early adopter, not an early majority person, but an innovator in on the ground floor. Well, that's almost 8 million people. Right? And then you slice that up, you can keep slicing these statistics down and down. Let's just look at men and women between 18 and 55, which for me, it's kind of my target market. Those are the people that I think will be interested in what we do. Obviously, you got to be 18 to be a coach, so that's the floor. And then 55, I could have sliced it a bunch of different ways. But of those people, that's 205 million people in the United States of America alone. Forget Canada. This is just the U.S. 205 million people. So let's talk about the early adopters of them. They're about half men, half women. So that's about 2.5 million men and about 2.5 million women who have the potential to sit in the innovators group. Not the early adopters group, not the early majority group, not the late majority group, and certainly not the laggers group. But there's 2.5 million men and 2.5 million women who have the potential to sit in the innovators. At ground floor level, there's 135,000 coaches. So you could take the statistics I just gave you, and you could keep slicing, and you could keep dicing, and you could take a scalpel, and you could cut out all you wanted to. This person's not eligible. That person can't do it. Blah, 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 blah. You're still dealing with huge, huge numbers, because the 135,000 people also includes everybody who's got an inactive account. It includes the people who have signed up for this business but have never done anything with it, maybe because they just want to be a member of the community. Maybe they love that, which I think is great. I think that's something totally unique about our business that really is one of the things that gets me excited about it, is that community atmosphere. Maybe they just want a discount on Shakeology. They are included in that 135,000 number. So you're not competing against 135,000 people. What I'm trying to get at here is that we are the innovators. As I started to think about this concept, I was thinking, oh yeah, Jimmy is an innovator, and Monica is an innovator, and I was an innovator, and Mike Ryan is an innovator, and I started thinking, no. We're all innovators. This is the ground floor. This is the opportunity. And if you think about the number of people who have risen up recently from not being a founding coach, not being an early coach, somebody who was in on the ground floor, so to speak, the Wayne Wyeth and Lindsay Matways of the world, and Lauren Knight, and Melissa McAllister, all these people, right? They got in afterwards, right? So the opportunity is there to be a part of the innovators group. And that's why I wanted you guys to watch that video. just a side note, if you Google that, and it's, again, the law of diffusion innovation. If you Google that, there's another video from a guy who's with a different company, which is why they post that video. It's actually kind of a cute video. And if you just substitute Beachbody for whatever he's got going on, you can sort of get the point that this is now the ground floor. So that's the opportunity that's really in front of you. So when confronted with something like that, I think a lot of times people go, okay, well, great. There's this big opportunity, and then the word but comes out of their mouth. Okay, but the but comes up. So what are the excuses that people use in order to avoid, essentially, taking advantage of this huge opportunity that's right in front of them and being a part of this group of innovators, right? What are the excuses people use? And I think there's a number of them. I'm going to cover a few of them. Sorry for the road noise. There's a guy on a motorcycle who needs to be loud about it. I'm going to cover a few of them. There are more, and I'm sure you guys, and we can go through whatever they are. And after I go through these excuses, I'm going to tell you what I think the core of the matter goes down to, okay, or breaks down to. So the first one is information, right? I get this all the time. I don't have enough information. How does this look? It looks like I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. I just don't know what to do. That excuse goes out the door right away. Okay, I'm a member of the Crew Wall group. I see what goes on there. I see the information that's available to you and the training that's available to you. In fact, for a while, Jimmy and I were talking once a week, and I was thinking about developing my own coach training website. Guess what? I bounced that off. Jimmy. Why? Because Jimmy has one. He has these structures in place for you guys to learn how to do the fundamentals. Okay, that's all in place. You also have the Coach Training Academy. If you don't get enough action on the Crew Wall, the Coach Training Academy is there for you. And there's enough information in the Coach Training Academy to fill your head with ideas for years. There is no shortage of information about what to do, how to do it. So that one's out the door. The next one is support. And I think this is kind of an interesting one for us because, you know, when we started this business, when Monica started this business, kind of a backstory now I'll give you on the support front. When we started this business, we go back to 2003 using Beachbody's products. Okay, Monica, in the middle of the night, we had our second child. She bought Power 90 off of the infomercial, right? Classic Beachbody story. It showed up, we cracked it open, we did Power 90, and then we did P90X, and then we did Slim and 6, and then Turbo Jam came, and I figured out I had no coordination for that. But we did a bunch of these Beachbody programs and really developed this passion for it. That was all the way back in 2003. So around 2006, when Carl and John were thinking, hey, maybe what we need to do is we need to start a new distribution channel filled with actual people rather than just a commercial avenue, but actual people, because they recognize the trend I talked about earlier where you'll take a restaurant recommendation from your friend way before you will some guy in a newspaper. They recognize that trend a long time ago because they're innovators, right? Going back to my law of diffusion innovation. They're innovators. So back around that time, Monica was involved with a different company, cosmetics company. I don't need to go into that, but she was involved with a different company that had a network marketing structure. And I remember sitting and talking to her and her telling me, you know, if I could just get involved, and Beachbody would go in this direction, and if Beachbody just had this business structure, I would blow it up. I would absolutely kill it because I don't have the same sort of, you know, beliefs about the cosmetics as I do about Power 90 and P90X and Slim and 6 and those products. And I think at the time, Recovery Formula was maybe the only supplement that Beachbody had. So that all came to fruition. Monica was actually one of the people that Carl picked up the phone and said, hey, you know, I'm going to start this new company. I need to get a teacher involved. And Monica was an elementary school teacher at the time. I need to get a teacher involved. Would you be interested in coming out to LA and hearing more about it? And she said, absolutely. And I said, hell no. And I was the unsupportive spouse that you always hear about that says this is a big scam and this won't work and this is dumb and on and on and on. Every objection you could possibly think of. And to her credit, she said, okay, well, I'm going to go anyway. So I'm going to go figure it out and I'm going to go learn more about this. So the company starts. And they basically say, good luck. Have fun. Sell really well. We didn't have Shakeology. We didn't have Success Club. We didn't have the Coach Training Academy. We had P90X. We didn't have Insanity. I mean, just think about this. Think back to these times when we got started in this business, and a lot of people will use the excuse of support. And they go, nobody helps me. I don't get any help. Or nobody builds my business for me is sometimes what they're really saying. But I don't get any help. And I'm not buying that excuse. Not from you people. Now, from some people, sure. You know, when Monica started this business, not a lot of support was going on here. It was pretty much you're on your own. But not from you people, because I know the culture of your team. You have Jimmy and Cody, who both already qualified for Elite for this year. Two Elite coaches, John Hayes, Brittany Norton, Adrian Fernandez, Star Diamond coaches, and Michelle and Christy and Jamil Mahdi, who I've never even heard of, is making like Success Club 20 every month. That's crazy. There's plenty of people to lean on for support. These people are your upline. That's their job, is to support you. So if support is your excuse, reach out. Prospects. That's the next one you get. Nobody's interested. Nobody's interested. Well, I've already shown you that there's 5 million potential customers in the between, and that's not even 5 million. There's 205 million. Excuse me, 205 million men and women between 18 and 55 in this country. Are you telling me you can't find some people? Because here's the good news: you don't need 205 million people. You don't even need 5 million people, which would be 2.5% of those people. You don't need that many people. We don't have that many people. I can tell you right now, we don't even have close to that many people. How do you know? Because there's only 135,000 coaches. Because you don't need that many people. What you need are a few passionate people who want to dive in and share this business and create a new life for themselves. Okay? So there's plenty of prospects that are out there. You have to find them. And that is your job. And that's why one of the 3 vital behaviors is invite, invite, invite. Why? Because we're looking for people who want our products. People fall in love with the products, they convert to coach. It's just a matter of time, okay? The next one, products. Okay, I went through and gave you the scenario of what it looked like for me when we started this business. I remember when Monica started this business, and I was like, well, that's great, honey. Way to be a founder in a network marketing company. I've always heard that's a lottery ticket. You have one problem, which is that you have no continuity product. I mean, literally, I think Recovery Formula was the only, and Activate. We had Activate, and maybe the Omega 3s too, I think. Those are the only continuity products we had. So it was like, okay, well, here's your P90X. We'll see you in 90 days maybe for another program which I don't have to sell to you. But that's not where we're at. We just came out with a 25-minute workout. It's 25 minutes. And there's somebody who, if you can't hang with what's going on and what Sean's doing on the other guy, there's a modifier who's there doing an easier version of the workout that you can follow. Truly a workout that anybody can do. 5 different flavors of Shakeology. We have protein. We have pre-workout. We have recovery stuff. We have Suma. We have all the supplements you could possibly need in order to be successful in weight loss, muscle building, whatever your goals are. The products are there. There's plenty of products, okay? Timing. I already kind of covered timing, right? You know, people are always like, well, I think this thing has jumped the shark. I mean, a little too late. You know, if I was only on the front end, here's the thing, you are. You absolutely are, okay? Because we've just seen too many people join this millionaire club who were in, quote-unquote, late, okay? Wayne White, I don't think he's been announced yet, but he's right on the verge of it, and I think Lindsay Matway is as well. These are people who were not founders, and some of them didn't have a lot of upline support, okay? What separates them is they refuse to use these various different excuses that I'm going through. Money is the next one I get a lot, right? You get the money excuse. I'm sure you guys have heard this. I just don't have the money. I can tell you that I have sat and talked to somebody who is sitting on top of and pedaling a $3,500 bicycle who has told me they don't have the money to start a Beachbody business. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The money excuse is totally irrelevant. Okay? If you guys, I'm sure Mike, and I'm sure you guys know Mike Ryan's story. I love Mike Ryan's story, a classic rags to riches sort of strategy, more like riches to rags to riches. That Mike was in bankruptcy court, and the bankruptcy trustee is going through his bankruptcy filing and asks him, what is this Team Beachbody business? Can you tell me what that's all about? And I think he actually had he prospected the guy. I didn't realize what he was doing. But Mike was dead broke, okay? And Mike managed to find the money to start this business. Why? Because this is a business that pays you back. Okay, you're going to have to, yes, you're going to have to invest a little bit of money, but that's why it's a business, because you have to make some investments in it. Okay, and the last one is time. And again, there are more, I'm sure we could go through. There's more stuff that we could think about that are potential excuses that are popping through my head now, but these are the ones I wrote down as I went and got ready for this thing. The time excuse I'm just not going to accept, because I know too many people who have built a successful business while working another job, and I'm one of them. The first 18 months that I was involved with Beachbody, I was a full-time practicing lawyer. That's what I did. I did real estate development work and real estate transactions, and pretty much anything that involved moving dirt around, I had my fingers in. And I was working in Phoenix at the time. And I was busy, very, very busy. But I recognized something, and what I recognized was the opportunity. And I didn't know about the law of diffusion, innovation. I didn't know about any of that stuff. What I recognized, this is a potential home run. At least it was an at-bat. This is what I told my in-laws when they thought we were crazy for doing this full time. I said, listen, I don't know what this is going to be. Right now, it's just an at-bat. And I'm standing at the plate, and I don't know whether this is I'm going to strike out, or I'm going to hit a single, or maybe I'll loop a double. Maybe I'll hit one down the line and get a triple, or if I'm going to rack this one out of the park. But I've got an at-bat, and that's all I know right now. And for me, that was enough. It was enough to have the potential, because I could see it. I could see it for what it was. Before it was, okay? So, and if you think like I'm an anomaly and that, I just did something, or maybe I only need 3 hours of sleep every night, and, well, yeah, you did that, but nobody else could possibly do that. Go back and listen to the national call from this morning. Christina Delgado was on the national call. Christina's become a good friend of ours, and she is a heavy hitter in a Miami law firm. And she was asked to be on the national call. I've never been on the national call. Nobody asked me to be on the national call. So that tells me Christina Delgado is probably working harder than me. And yet she manages to work her full-time job. Why? Because she recognizes that she's got an at-bat and that she's building a future for herself. So she's not willing to accept the time excuse of herself. Okay? So as we kind of, peel back the layers of this onion and we get past these excuses, where do we end up? Right? You've got a golden opportunity in front of you. You've got all the support that you need. You have all the information you need to be successful. There's plenty of people out there. We've got phenomenal products, not crappy products, not mediocre products, phenomenal products. The timing is right. Money and time are not a valid excuse. What's left? And that's where we come to the title of what I really want to get to tonight. And it's really simple. It's how you see yourself. It's your belief system. It's what you believe about you that allows you to either succeed or fail. That's the core of the whole thing, okay? Because everything else is just a silly excuse. The only thing that really matters is how you see yourself and whether you can see yourself actually being successful and whether you believe you can do this or not. Okay, I'll just give you an example. As we know, we've made $1 million in this business, okay? That's a lot of money. I could hire an expedition. I could hire some kick-ass Sherpas, and we could go and climb Everest. The only problem is I do not believe that I could climb Everest. I don't really want to climb Everest, but I don't have a belief system that would enable me to go through the hard times that would be involved at being at that altitude, in that kind of weather, with that kind of adversity, and detached from, my family and everything else going on. I don't have a belief system that would weather that storm. I just don't, which is probably why I haven't done that. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. Get to the core. Understand this thing. Okay, we have 3 vital behaviors. Okay, the 3 vital behaviors, you prove the product works. That means that you look good, right? Basically is what that means in core, that you look good and that you present the product in a respectable manner, right? The next one is invite, and that means you're going to make some money. Okay, you're going to be inviting people. That means you're going to be selling products, getting people involved in challenge groups, doing all those great things that everybody else has trained you on. The last one is personal development, and this is where people don't do it. This is where they fall down. And this is why they don't succeed, because personal development is the glue that binds these other 2 things together. Okay? That's the intersection of you looking and feeling good and you making money, and what brings it all together and allows you to weather the storm when you're sitting on the side of Everest in this business, which believe me, you will, is your personal development. And that starts with how you believe in yourself and your belief systems about you, okay? So here's what we do. This is the stuff I've learned as I've gone through this and had to reform a lot of my belief systems, and I'll talk about that in a second. But what people do is they make up stories about themselves, okay? And sometimes those stories are based on actions of other people. You know, sometimes people go through a lot of crap. I mean, I don't know you personally. I don't know what sort of physical, emotional, financial trauma you've been through in your life. I don't know if you were bullied or you know, grew up without a parent or whatever it may be. People go through all these things, and in order to make sense out of them, they make up stories about themselves. Okay, and I'll give you the example from my life. Okay, when I was 2 years old, my parents got divorced. And my mom decided that she was going to move us from Ogden, Utah to San Diego, California. Now, at the time I was 2, but as I grew up, I was kind of angry about that, right? Until I realized that my mom's best friend's father is a heroin addict because she lives in an area that is a downtrodden area that my mom wanted to get me out of. Good job, Mom. Thank you for bringing me to the beach here in San Diego where we now live. But my dad decided he wasn't going to move to Southern California and said he wanted to move to Northern California. Why? Because he likes to ski. Now, I made up a big story about me that said what? You're not worthy of having good relationships. No one will love you because you're worthless. Because I know what dads do, right? I would die before I even went that long of a period without seeing my kids. I can't, just even the thought of it makes me want to throw up. Okay? That's what happened. That was my life. And I made up a big story about me that said I wasn't worthy of having good relationships in my life. Now, I had other role models who taught me positive stories and helped me build a positive story about me. My grandfather was a really hardworking guy. He was also a lawyer. Taught me how to be a good lawyer. Taught me if you work hard, you'll get paid. So guess what I did? I went to work, and I got paid. I was never the smartest guy. I was always the hardest working guy. No one outworked me, period. If it was 3 in the morning, it was 3 in the morning. If it meant an all-nighter, it was an all-nighter. I didn't care. I was going to get it done because I was going to win. Because that's the story I made up about me, that I work harder than anybody else. And that's how I win. And so what happens is people make up these stories about themselves, and then they do everything they can possibly do to make them true. Now, I did that. I worked hard, and I proved that story true, that I was a hardworking guy. What I didn't realize in the back of my mind is I was proving the other story true as well. I was doing everything I could to corrupt my relationship with my wife. Not spending any time with my children, being extremely selfish on a shameful level, to be honest. Okay? Doing everything I could to prove that story was true. What I need you to do is I need you to look at it and understand what is the story that you are trying to prove is true right now. Okay? We all have something that holds us back. And at the end of this, I'm going to try and give you a way to change that conversation that's going on inside your head and help you get past the story. Because I'm here to tell you that you are not your story. The story I made up about me to explain the behavior of other people was totally false. And I didn't figure it out until I was 36 years old. And thank God I did, because over the last 4 years, 5 years, my life has dramatically changed. Dramatically changed. Why? All I did was change the story. That's all I did. All I did was change the story that was going on in my head. Okay? The story that you have to work hard to earn a lot of money. That's just a story. That's not true. The second that I said, that's not true. Why? Why is that true? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I have to work hard to make money? If money is abundant and there's plenty of it, and I'm worthy of having it, why would I have to work super hard? Why couldn't I just create value for other people and create a culture where people are able to thrive and get paid? Why couldn't I do that? But see, I didn't realize that story was playing in my head until I sat down and I did a lot of personal development, and I went to some seminars, and I figured out what I really wanted my life to look like, and then was able to take a good hard look in the mirror and see what was standing in my way. And that the only thing standing in my way was the story that I had made up about me, and the fact that I was really good at proving my story was right. And people do this all the time. You know, you get this all the time. If you ever talk to any of your coaches and you're mentoring them or your customers, I get this with my customers all the time. I talked to a guy just last night. I'm chatting with the guy. Why are you 300 plus pounds? What is going on? Story about his mom. Big long story about his mom. You're not your story. You're not your story. But you can't change it until you change the story. You'll do everything possible to prove the story's true. And I'll give you 2 examples. Mike Tyson is the first one. Okay, Mike Tyson made up a story about himself that he could beat the crap out of anybody on the planet. And he proved that story true. But he had another story which he didn't publicize very well, which was that he was totally unworthy of every dollar he made because at his core, he was not a good person. And so what did he do? He beat the crap out of everybody he saw, and then he frittered away every dollar he made. Everyone. You see this with lottery winners too. They win millions. A couple years later, all gone. Why? They don't change their story. So they're never worthy of holding on to those riches, of holding on to that wealth, of being able to see themselves big enough to have a couple of $1 million in a bank account and go, oh my God, I don't need a Lamborghini. I don't even want a Lamborghini, but I'm going to go buy one. Why? Because I'm not worthy of this money. And so I just do what they can to get rid of it. The other one's Adrian Peterson. I was watching this today. I didn't realize until today that Adrian Peterson, for those of you who don't know, is running back for the Vikings. Whether you like the Vikings or not, it's totally irrelevant. Is the MVP of the league last year. But 9 months before the season started, he tore his knee to shreds, tore his ACL, his MCL. I've done that. It's horribly painful, awful rehab. He's got 9 months to the beginning of the season to get ready and goes on to have this unbelievable year. Unbelievable MVP year. Why? Because his body refused, absolutely refused, to let him not prove the story that he told himself was true. That story is, I am the best running back that has ever lived, period. Now, whether you believe that or not, or like the Vikings, is totally irrelevant. What you have to appreciate is the story. And what he did to prove that story was true, which was use asylum, by the way. That was the video I was watching earlier. I was totally blown away. I'm like, he's doing asylum to rehab his knee, and that's A, cool. But B, what's really cool is he refused to quit. Everybody told him, you're done, take the season off, take a year off, you'll never come back. Everybody said he'll never be the same. He came back and started running over people even harder than he had ever run over people in his entire career. And had an MVP season, almost broke the single season rushing title. I think it was like 8 or 9 yards short of that. Okay? That's how powerful your story is, whether it's either for your self-preservation, your ultimate success, or your self-destruction. And I have seen so many people destroy themselves simply because they can't get past this, and they won't allow themselves to rewrite their story. Okay? So let me tell you one way that I've been able to do that. There's a little bit more that, this is I think, something that will hopefully help you. Here's what I was told to do, okay? This is not my idea. This is what some smart guy who was mentoring me told me to do, which was to sit down and figure out how I really wanted to be, okay? Not necessarily the things that I wanted, the Lamborghini and the big fancy house and all that stuff, but how I wanted to be, right? Fit and healthy. Happily married, successful children, how I wanted my life to be, how I wanted, as a verb, right? Live it, how you want it to be. And then sit down and write it out. And write it out. If you look on my Facebook page right now, it says that my Facebook profile picture says I am. The reason it says I am is because I just did this recently. I redid it. And every word starts with I am. I am. X number, in X number of shapes. I am, I do, in a real active voice as if it's real. Write it all down, and then break out your iPhone or whatever you use to record your own voice and read it. And then listen to it. Because the truth is that your voice is the most powerful force in your life. It's the one thing you cannot help but listen to. If it is saying negative things to you, your life will be negative. If it's saying positive things to you, your life will be positive. So if your voice isn't telling you the story that you need to hear in order to be the way you want to be, you've got to start to change that dialogue, and this is one way. That's really, really easy. Quick plug, another thing that I did was I went to a lot of seminars. One of the seminars I went to is called Magnitude. It's by some friends of ours it's called Brainstorm. These guys do a vision seminar. I sat down and I wrote a vision for my life as if it was real at 1, 5, and 10-year increments of what the 1, 5, and 10-year increments of my life look like. And then I had to force myself to think about what needs to change about you in order to have that in order to prove that story what needs to change about you. And then I set about changing those things. Okay? But that's the whole process here. If you peel away all of the excuses, everything, money, time, products, prospects, support, information, whatever it is, it all comes down to you, because if you believe in it and you believe in your own ability, you'll figure out the rest. You'll find the money, you'll find the time, you'll find the prospects, the people you'll be beating people over the stick the second you start to believe that you can. But until you start to believe that you can, your business will falter. You will transfer that belief system onto other people. I mean, if you haven't seen this one yet in your coaching business, it's there, okay? There's a transference of beliefs that happens not only when I tell you how much I love Shakeology or P90X or T25 or whatever it is. There's a transference of beliefs that happens when I bring you into this business and I say to you, there's this really great opportunity. It's awesome. You should check it out. It's really cool. And I'm gonna do really well with it. No, because you don't feel that way. That's not a true story. But you can make it a true story. And this is one way you can do it. I highly suggest that you go about finding some way. If it's what I've recommended, great. So it's what I've recommended in conjunction with something else, even better. There are lots of great personal development. I'm doing the Tony Robbins program right now, and I'm absolutely in love with it. There are lots of great personal development programs out there that you can go to where you can learn how to change the story. But understand that until you do, nothing's going to change, right? This is classic Jim Rohn stuff. Nothing changes until you change. This is exactly what's going on. You're the puppet master here. You may be pulling your strings in a really good direction, or you may be just leading yourself down a path to ultimate failure, not just with Beachbody, but in your life. You know, Beachbody to me is rather irrelevant. I want to see people win. I have one of my first time a coach did something similar to this. It wasn't this exercise. He's no longer really a coach of Beachbody. He's still a coach because he loves the product. But he's making $200,000 working for the defense industry as a defense contractor, because that was his dream job. But he couldn't see himself big enough at the time, which is why he was working for Child Protective Services for the state of Texas. Now he's got his dream job. That's what I want to see. Just people living fully better lives. This is the big key. The rest of it is really just nonsense. So that's kind of all I have on that point, Jim.
Holy smokes! I literally, Dave, I have like a manila, one of those like legal pads, and I've taken 6 pages of notes, dude. That's crazy. I love these exercises. I love that you've taken every excuse that me or any other coach may have on why they can't be successful with this, and you destroyed it. Number one, and I love the fact that we all have access to the same training, the same support, the same products. It's just a matter of what you do with it. But at the end of the day, it is all about that story that you're telling yourself. And I know I have some work to do. I have a similar backstory when it comes to, broken family, mom and dad stuff that's there that sometimes you just don't want to deal with. But that story was written probably when you or I or whoever was, 6, 7 years old, and it's been there. And I love the idea of the voice recorder thing. I'm totally all over this, and I hope that the crew members that are listening to this also don't just jump off this call feeling good and pumped up about this, but that you actually put these exercises to the test. Take action. It's like we talk about all the time, guys. It's learn, do, tweak. So you just learned a ton tonight. The faster you can activate these things and not just go to bed pondering them or feeling good about it, and try some of this and see how your world changes, and then we as a team can tweak it along the way, the faster you're going to see change. And Dave, this is awesome. And basically, all the message that I've been getting during this thing is like greatest call ever. This thing rocks. Like I'm sitting here like getting text and messages when they come in. So this will be one that the recording of this will live on for a long time. I thank you so much for your time, guys. I would love if you would reach out to Dave, either via his Facebook or going to his blog or something, and just let him know how much you appreciate his time tonight. And I'm sure he would love to hear, like anybody we have in our speakers, let him know what you've activated immediately, and let him know how your world has changed because of the time he's chosen to invest in you, in your business, and what you're doing. Dave, thank you so much, buddy.
It's my pleasure, Jimmy. It's always good to talk to you and your people. You know, I love you, brother.
Love you too. Guys, real quick, we're going to wrap this up real quick. Reminder, August Personal Development. I'm listening to this right now. Dave, if you don't have this book, get it. It's called The Power of Habit by Charles Dewing. I think you would really dig it, just knowing you as well. And it's really fascinating to see how the human mind works, where our habits come from, and why. Also, remember, guys, you guys are doing a great job of this. We need more stories. We need more before and afters, current pictures from you, your challengers. The more stories that we can collect, it helps all of us as coaches. As you know, part of that power of five is to share success stories every day. And we have places on the crew wall where if you need pictures of before and afters, you have specific types of people and that you want to share stories with. We need your stories. And last but not least, remember, as you're bringing on new coaches this week, make sure you're sending them to crewtrainings.com/new coach so they can get their new to crew webinar. Again, please stop by. Tell Dave Ward thank you. Also, don't forget, this Friday, we have Shalene Johnson, 2 to 3 Central. I'm going to be posting a survey question on the crew wall here within the next 30 minutes. And I need you guys to help so we can specify that as well. Thank you to Dave Ward. Thank you for everybody that plugged in tonight. And we will be talking to you soon. Crush it. Go activate this. And you guys have a great night.